Skip. I'm reacting to Shannon Sharpe versus Stephen A. Smith on LeBron versus Jordan. Age-old debate. Let's see who gets the W. Alright, y'all, let's get it. Club Shay Shay, Stephen A. Smith versus Shannon Sharpe on LeBron versus Jordan. Obviously, you guys know I think LeBron's the GOAT, but let's see what these guys have to say about this.
Obviously, you know you love yourself some LeBron James.
Yeah. You know they're gonna happen.
Just off the bat, the intensity, the yelling, bro. He might be Ed, I'm not gonna lie.
Go. He the go.
He's not.
Say it with me.
He's not.
He the go.
He's not. I just got off the phone with MJ last
That's
night.
okay.
Just to remind him.
You should have hung up on him.
I hung up on
You
him.
should have hung up on him. It was funny.
Yeah. Say go.
The blasphemy
Yeah!
coming out of your mouth right now. Okay, it's okay. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Man, still going strong 21. But we'll do. I'm sure. You know what?
Right.
The first LeBron topic.
Right.
Don't need to be nobody. Don't need to be nobody there.
Here's what's gonna hurt you. Here's what's gonna hurt you. Because you see, when you talking like that, people are like, but shit, that. No, I'm gonna sit back and let you do it. And then I'm gonna say, you finished? Are you finished? You sure?
No.
And you're gonna be like, nah. And I'm gonna say, you gotta wait now, because I waited. Here I come. And you're gonna have to deal with the tsunami that I'm gonna bring, I'm gonna rain down upon you when it comes, especially to that subject. Especially to that subject. And that's where you're gonna have to say, listen, LeBron, listen.
I don't know if Shannon Sharpe is our guy, you know what I mean? Is the representative of Team LeBron, I don't know. But let's see, he might do a good job.
I got this man. The game started in 1947.
Bet.
I got LeBron James, the thousands of players that have played in the NBA. I got him number 2 all time.
Yeah.
You got people walking around like that's disrespect.
It is.
I got him. No, see, that's emotion. That's emotion right there. That's emotion right there. Listen, let me tell you something right now. I personally believe a legitimate argument could be made that I'm sitting in front of the greatest tight end in the history of football. Some people bring in Gronk, Tony Gonzalez, other
Travis
players,
Kelce.
whatever, Travis Kelce, of course.
Gates,
Bring all this stuff.
right.
But you in the comp.
I don't know about that, bro. Shannon Sharpe, I mean, he was before my time. I can't comment. But Gronkowski, that boy was tough. Untackleable, caught everything. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, because your brethren, I mean, they give you mad love and respect, right? I can say that. But my point to you,
Gronkowski, if it weren't for... the only thing that could stop him was himself getting hurt. And shit, if he probably got treatment more instead of getting drunk and fucking bitches at the University of Arizona or wherever the hell he was at, maybe he would still be in the league. I don't know. But I think that was the GOAT tight end in terms of like 1 year. There were a lot of guys in that conversation. I mean, Tony Gonzalez, you gotta talk about him. If you're talking pure vertical threat, I would even throw like Jordan Reed in there. I know that sounds crazy. Obviously Jordan Reed's not the GOAT tight end, but whatever. Anyway, we're digressing. Let's talk about LeBron Jordan.
is that if somebody said you weren't number 1, you don't feel insulted.
No.
So why you got to be insulted about LeBron?
Because.
That's emotion.
No,
That's
it ain't
my
no
point. That's emotion.
But the goal.
Huh?
See,
That's emotion
you
right
told me
there.
the storm was coming.
Right.
See, your storm happened for 9 years, then took 2 years off.
Right.
And it happened for 3 years,
Yep.
it took another 3 years off.
That's right.
And then it kind of just was like drizzling. My storm been going for 21 years raining.
Yeah, right. You could say that, and my retort to that would be 6 NBA Finals losses.
So then
What does that mean? That is the worst retort. I hate that retort. I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm a very objective person. I like to be objective. But we're talking about a guy who went to the finals 10 times. You want to penalize him for that. Your boy went to the finals 6 times. So you're saying that losing to a team in your own conference and not dominating. LeBron had people go into the other side of the fucking country to play basketball because they knew that they weren't going to make it if they played on the East Coast. They were like, fuck it, man, let's just duck this smoke and go to the West. And we'll go play, we'll go play in the West. At least we have a better chance of making it to the finals. We win a conference or something. People were leaving. There was a mass exodus from the East because of LeBron.
That's 6 final losses. 6 finals losses.
let me ask you a question.
6.
I just want you to tell me one thing, and we're going to debate this.
Sure.
Tell me the team that he faced that was the 2017 or the 2018 Golden State Warriors.
What do you mean? I don't understand your question.
Michael Jordan, tell me the team.
You talking about Michael Jordan?
I want you to tell me the team that Michael Jordan faced that was the equivalent of the 17 and 18.
No one. Can I respond to that? Sure.
Okay, no one. There you go.
No one. Do you know why? Because none of them had Jordan.
No.
That's exactly why.
Okay, let me
That's exactly why. See, that's the ultimate equalizer or usurper. Pick whichever one you want to pick. Do you understand that Jordan is 6-0 in NBA Finals?
Yes.
Do you understand that Jordan was MVP all 6 NBA Finals?
Yes.
Do you understand that Jordan never even allowed a final series to go 7 games? You
yes.
understand that? It never went 7 games.
I also know he didn't start going to the finals because Bird back went out.
Excuse me.
I mean, look, MJ, of course, had a reign of dominance in the 90s. That's not deniable. He was dominant. But, I mean, look, I think that if you talk about who's the better basketball player, straight up, flat out, it's not even close. LeBron is by a landslide better at basketball. Okay? But if you're talking about for the era, who was the GOAT, I still think it's LeBron. Because he actually dominated every facet of the game for 20 years. 20 years as a single player. You want to hold him accountable for these people want to hold a single player accountable for championships. That's not how that works, dog. It's just that's not how that works at all. That is not the correct framework. Again, I use that. I said that a lot. That is not the correct framework. You cannot judge a player by his team's ability to win championships. There are so many factors that go into that. And Jordan had a great team always, man. Like, let's be real. And I'm not saying that Jordan wasn't the best player in the league. He wasn't dominant. He wasn't one of the greats. He wasn't by far the best player on his own team. But he had Scottie Pippen. If you watch Scottie Pippen, think about Kawhi Leonard, right? Scottie Pippen was basically Kawhi Leonard in that era. If you really think about it and like break down the game, that's what he was. But he was honestly a little bit more athletic and offensively gifted than Kawhi. Straight up, like that's the truth. Kawhi is probably better defensively. But as far as the athletes that they are, anyway, let's continue.
10-time NBA scoring champion, 9-time all defensive first.
Dog, these are all like relative to the competition though. Like everything he brings up is relative to the competition. If you watch the film and you tell me that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron, you're on crack.
See, you do know that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So in other words, is LeBron on both sides of the ball? Was he that dominant?
Oh, he was dominant. You know he should have won it. You know he should have won.
Are you kidding me?
Stephen A.
Are you kidding
Stephen
me?
A.
See, Shannon's got the right idea. If he could speak English, this would have gone a lot better for him.
Give me this.
Okay.
You know good and well LeBron James should have one defensive player of the year. How does Marc Gasol, who's a second-team all-defensive player, be defensive player of the year?
I agree with that. But the flip side to it is that as we watched LeBron James, even with his greatness at one point in time as a defensive player, we never looked at him and said, "Oh my God, that's that dude defensively."
Yeah.
What do you mean? You might not have said that. Dog, LeBron James is one of the greatest defenders of all time, all around. He might not. This is the thing about LeBron, and this is why he's so underappreciated, is that he is exceptional at everything. He might not be like head and shoulders the GOAT in any one category, and actually I do believe he is, honestly, when it comes to, I got to think about it, but I think that mid-post game, overall, all in all, with his ability to distribute from there, his ability to take it to the low post, bang it out, and get a bucket, his ability to fade over his shoulder, I think that might be the greatest of all time, even better than the other guys who were great out of that mid-post area. Kobe, MJ, Melo. I think that he was better offensively overall. So I do think LeBron was the GOAT in some ways in specific categories. But the thing about LeBron, when you're evaluating LeBron, is that you got guys like MJ had this pure-ass mid-range. He was great. He was very athletic. But his physicality was lacking compared to other GOAT category players, right? LeBron, you can't say that he was lacking in anything. Nothing. He was never lacking. He was the GOAT standard. He was a GOAT caliber player in every single facet of the game. All of them. Perimeter defense. Bro, I've seen him guard Derrick Rose, bro. Derrick Rose in his prime. That was my guy, too. That was like one of my favorite players, Derrick Rose. I've seen them match him up with Derrick Rose in the clutch when it was time to like, gut up and win the game. They were like, you know what, LeBron, you take D Rose. You take the best player on their team who is a guard, and you are a forward wing, whatever you want to call LeBron. He could play really anything, but he was, naturally a point guard, or not point guard, excuse me, wing forward, point forward, right? And he was on Derrick Rose. I've seen him guard Steph off of screens and stuff. I mean, my man, like, that's crazy. I've seen him block 7-footers. He can play in the post. Now, forget the blocks, right? Forget the blocks, chase down block, all that stuff. Let's just talk about with the ball in a big's hand, back to the basket against LeBron. There's no motion there. He's not giving up no space. Great at post defense. Great on the perimeter. Great at, great with off-ball defense. He's the shot caller of the team every time he's on a team. Always. Same with offense. He can shoot the ball. He's probably an 85th percentile or 80th percentile shooter. That is his worst quality. That's by far his worst quality for sure, career-wise, and his peak. Now he can shoot the ball a little bit better. But he was, that's his worst quality, shooting. Other than that, handling the ball, when I say handling, I mean his ability to get by people. I don't need him to be getting in his bag, doing all this fancy shit, because all he needs to do is attack the hip, and if you give him like a tiny bit of space, you can't slide in front of him, he's gonna bully you into the paint, right? That's good enough for me. If he can create paint touches as a player, doesn't matter how he does it, it's actually even better the way he does it, because it's more efficient. It takes less dribbles, it takes less time with the ball in his hands, right? He can create a paint touch easily. He can catch the ball in the post and do whatever he wants with it. He can distribute well. He can set screens. He's large enough. He can do everything, man. He can do everything. You got to think about the value of that. A lot of people be like not, trying to ignore that part of it. They be trying to they try to gloss over that. Oh, he wasn't a killer. He wasn't, dog. He did everything to a near perfect level. You can't gloss that over.
Now, LeBron is universally respected and revered. MJ was feared. You know the difference. You know the difference. Because there are people who have feared you. You know the difference better than me. You know the difference between reverence and fear.
You see what he's doing? He's just glazing just a little bit, just a little bit here and there, just to get Shannon on his heels a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just like, because if he's on the aggression, it's like, ooh, okay, he just called me good at football. Ooh.
Look, you know this. You like John Wick. I like James.
He's all right. He's all right. Hold on. Can I have James Bond? I prefer James Bond. You can be John Wick. Okay. I prefer James Bond.
I like what he's about to say. I'm honestly not mad at people who pick Jordan as the GOAT, as their favorite, as their player. If they were going to pick a player, they're going to take Jordan. I can't be mad at you, bro. Go take the guy that's going to get you a bucket. I cannot be mad at you. If that's the way you view the game and you think that that's the style you want to go with and that's what you want to build your team around, you go do that. If I have a first player to pick, I'm taking LeBron every time. Now I can pick whoever the fuck I want. Whatever else is on the board, you know what I mean? That makes my team better over the long run, because if it was a draft style, if it was free agent, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a tryout setting, right? My team is going to be significantly better because I have LeBron, and I can then take the next best player on the board. LeBron can play with another scorer. In fact, it would behoove him to have another scorer. Like, all the guys are going to be gone, bro. You got to think about constructing a team. With MJ, you can't take anybody else that's a pure primary scorer. Think about the team that he played on. Bro, with MJ's career, you got to understand, Michael Jordan was one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But he to have 6 rings the way he did and to have 2 3-peats and never lose in the finals, it took a great deal of luck as well. In terms of situation, favorability with circumstance, right? He ended up on a team with a great defensive wing that could neutralize the other team's best player in Scottie Pippen. He had Dennis Rodman for the majority of those 6 rings, who was an exceptional forward and could do all the dirty work without demanding the ball, wanting the ball, having zero offensive footprint so MJ could score. I mean, the chemistry, the fit with these guys was perfect. And then you had other good guards, Ron Harper, Steve Kerr along the way. You had good centers. You had good, helpful centers. You didn't have fucking Shaq, right? But, dude, that's a dynasty. LeBron was extremely unfortunate with his team structure. He played in Cleveland where they sucked. They just professionally sucked balls. They were just great at sucking ass and balls. So for some reason that city for sports is completely cursed. He brought them a ring. I want you to think about that. They never put anybody on that team with him. Mo Williams, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. I wouldn't know who these guys were. Nobody would know these guys if it weren't for the fact that LeBron James played on the team with them. So the rings argument is ridiculous to bring up rings, because if we're gonna bring up rings, then let's put this simulation in a situation where LeBron got drafted and boom, you have a great guard on the team who can also score, and you have a great big, and then you have LeBron, and you have a couple role players who are solid, who can space the floor and shoot a little bit, because that's like pretty much the role they would need to play. That guy's winning 10 rings, 8 rings, 9. I mean, he's winning a ton of rings. I mean, look at how dominant they were in Miami. I understand they didn't win the ring every single year, but neither did Jordan, Pippen, and whatever, right? And Rodman, neither did they. No, Dwayne Wade, past his prime, who was also still not the best guard to have on a team with LeBron. He was a good complementary player, but you know, they both slashed and got to the rim. So they were great in transition together, but in the half court, if I had to pick a guard to go with LeBron James, out of any guard in the world, it would not be Dwayne Wade. It probably wouldn't be Kyrie Irving. For me, Chris Paul would be in that conversation, and I think Steph Curry would be in that conversation. If we're talking about point guards, if we want to talk shooting guards, then Clay. Guys like that. Jimmy Butler. Low offensive footprint players. Steph obviously has a huge offensive footprint, but he can shoot the three, so that changes everything, the spacing. So Michael Jordan, 6 rings in a situation where, yes, he's an exceptional player, he's a great talent, he's wowing everybody, but the situation is absolutely impeccable for him to succeed. And then you have LeBron James, who's been shuttling around his whole career trying to find a place where he doesn't have to drag that team to the championship. And bro, like let's Miami, dog. They were dominant in Miami. Let's not forget that. Those motherfuckers won like 20-something straight games, 23, 24 straight. Like they were doing crazy shit to everybody, just like putting nuts on foreheads, bro, all year. They were dominant. Yeah, I mean they lost in the finals twice. Shit happens, bro. But they were an absolutely incredible, demonic team to go against. And I would say that the Mavericks got a little lucky. The Spurs, I mean, you know, dude, it happens. Things happen, right? Things happen like that. But, you know, they lost in the finals. MJ lost to Isaiah Thomas in the fucking Eastern Conference. But we don't want to talk about that.
You could be John Wick. Okay.
Stephen A. is never going to talk about that. He forgot that happened, and he was alive for it.
He's gone.
John Wick shot up the whole place, kill everybody.
Okay.
James Bond killed a few people, but got the ladies. They do the same thing.
That's right. Remember when Halle Berry was walking out?
What else came up about that
when he was walking out the ocean and she said, "Magnificent view." Remember that?
I remember that.
The smoke. And that was right. You know that stuff. The stuff like Pierce Brosnan, but you know Daniel Craig, of course, Sean Connery, the man. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to say the versatility of James Bond is where
the
it comes in. And you could say that, but
he could guard 1 through 5. You seen him do it.
I'm not denying that.
Shut down Tony Parker.
Hey, Tony Parker.
On one end. In the last 5 minutes, say I got Timmy D.
I also saw him get checked when Jason Terry was guarding him in the post in his finals against Dallas. You going to deny that?
No.
Okay then.
He had a bad game. Look, again, LeBron, bro. At the end of the day, if LeBron had a good team, having one bad game in the finals wouldn't have been a deal breaker, right? I'm not saying the team wasn't good, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what role a post big, an offensive, a big that is a scorer in the post. I mean, Chris Bosh should have done more than he did on that team, honestly. I just think that the possessions cannibalize themselves. Like, you don't find Dennis Rodman, bro. Like, honestly, like, you don't find another star caliber. Dennis Rodman is once in a generation. To end up with a team on a team as a scorer with a fucking Dennis Rodman who never needs the ball and contributes in a billion different ways at a high level, like that is just that's a windfall. You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron played with scoring bigs, so there was not enough ball to get them the ball, and they ended up looking like they sucked, which they didn't suck, but they weren't also, you know, what he needed. So I think that the ring thing is a ridiculous argument to bring up when we have this conversation. It's just not the right conversation to have. Like, we're talking about a team accomplishment when it comes to individual players. I'm looking at the film, and I'm telling you, LeBron has no holes, period.
So let me ask you a question. Has there ever been a time when Michael Jordan showed up in an NBA Finals, and you literally looked at him and said, "Yo, he ain't show up."
He didn't play nobody.
Come on.
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna do it like this here.
Sure.
Tell me the guy that he faced that was the equivalent of Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals.
Michael Jordan. Well, I wouldn't
Or
say
Steph Curry.
I wouldn't say the equivalent of Kevin Durant, but let's put on the list. He beat Magic for his first title.
Magic was 73.
Okay, I find you. I'm going.
Oh my god.
Down the list.
Okay.
Down the list. I didn't hear you say that when Magic was here, but we'll talk about that.
Magic-
We'll talk about that.
you know Magic-
You didn't say that when Magic was here.
But
You didn't tell him that.
The man
but it's okay.
the man that gone to nine finals in 10
I
years.
feel you on that. And by the way, he took Vlade Divac and those guys.
Yes.
It wasn't Kareem and Worthy and them. I got
But you saw what he did to Jordan in the first game, right?
Allow me.
Put a triple double on it, they had to put Scottie Pippen on it.
That's cool.
Okay, I ain't gonna say he back.
Ah, damn.
Back to
Made it look like Kareem and Caldwell Jones. Okay, go.
I've actually never seen that myself, but damn, that's crazy if that happened.
That's fair. That's fair. Magic Johnson, first title. Clyde Drexler and the Crew, second title. Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, don't ignore that. Dan Marley and them, the third
They
title.
were good
Okay. Peyton, the glove, with Sean Kemp, before he became
That's
Sean
one
Kemp.
Hall of Famer.
And then also you got Karl Malone, John Stockton.
Yes.
The thing about what Shannon's saying, though, and I do understand it, but I will have to. I have to. Look, I agree. I don't think that Jordan played anybody nearly as good as the teams that LeBron played. But when you're making this argument, it sounds like a resume argument. The problem with that is that Jordan, you could equally say that because he was in the league, these guys have less resume. You see what I'm saying? Like Clyde Drexler, Sean Kemp. Like we think, mid, not that many rings, whatever. But it's because Jordan was winning rings every year and basically preventing them from winning rings, right? So like that argument kind of goes both ways. I would just dead that. I don't think we talk about that because it doesn't move the needle in either direction because you can make that argument in both directions. The competition argument, though, when you look at the film, right? I think it favors LeBron because look, man, KD can do things that no other human has ever been able to do. Period. Point blank, period. Same with Steph Curry. Clyde Drexler, Sean Kemp. I mean, yeah, they were great, right? Charles Barkley, right, was unique. He was a great player as well. But they're not guys who we have never seen anything like them. Like, yes, they were really, really good players. Extremely good basketball players to the point of being like some of the best basketball players of all time. But like, bro, like we've seen athletic defensive players like Sean Kemp. We've seen great defensive guards. We've seen that. And I'm not saying just being unique makes you great to a larger degree either, but I'm saying that some of the players in this day and age are superhuman. Kevin Durant is a 7-footer, man. He can fucking cross you up, pull up over your head, shoot over you. You can't guard him. If he wants to shoot the ball, he's going to shoot the ball. You got to put some slow-ass 7-footer on him, and then he's going to dunk on somebody in the paint. Some poor little fucking rotating guard is just going to get dick in his mouth. You see what I'm saying? Like, that didn't exist before Kevin Durant, right? And it's actually meaningful. Steph Curry, you're chasing him around screens all day. He catches the ball, dances with the ball a little bit. You fall, he shoots. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the shit that LeBron was going up against. Charles Barkley was a great power forward, extremely physical. And, I mean, yeah, look, that's cool, but, like, we've seen Zion Williamson. And Zion Williamson was obviously nowhere near the sustained level of success that Charles Barkley had. But I just don't think that would work in this era. I don't think that with the talent and the skill level, what Charles Barkley was doing would really work. I mean, he would get his twos, don't get me wrong, but then he would get shot out the gym. And he'd have to guard somebody on the perimeter and look foolish. So, I mean, look. The physicality goes strongly in favor of the 90s as an era, okay? But LeBron is one of the most physical basketball players of all time. He's one of the most physically intimidating basketball players ever. Straight up. There's not a player at any position that if I were to say, like, let's pound it out and play this game in the paint all day, that I'm taking over LeBron. Shaq would be one, okay? Shaq would be one. Charles Barkley be in the conversation. But I mean, it's LeBron James, dog. 280 pounds at times in his career, maybe 260. That could be gassed up. I've seen the numbers online. Those are not obviously the most reliable things ever, but still, big athletic motherfucker.
And you have an NBA game that was considerably tougher at that particular moment in time than today's NBA game is in terms of physicality and what's allowed.
Yes.
So you can appreciate this.
Yes.
You can appreciate that.
But see,
when you can put your forearm on people, when you can hand check them, when you can do a lot of things you can't do now. Right now you get called for passing gas.
True, you will. But
It's a different game now.
But here's the thing, Stephen.
Okay.
That's true.
What you and the old school guard have equated physicality with talent and skill. The guys in today's game are more skilled.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But you would.
Yeah, but they're more skilled, but at the same time, that's because they don't have to spend as much time in the weight room. Steph Curry shoots the basketball all day. If he played back then, he would destroy everybody. Don't get me wrong. He would destroy everybody still. But the thing is, like, he wouldn't be able to guard anybody, bro. He'd be one of the worst defenders. He'd get exposed. I don't know how long you could keep him on the court. He would be like a novelty rotational guy. But when he went in, he would obviously score a fucking ton of points. But, I mean, look, I don't know. I mean, I should take that back. The novelty rotation, it's tough to say what Steph would be, right? It's unpredictable because if you put him in that era, we'd have to see how well he could actually hold up defensively. And, like, chances are he'd have to adapt, probably get a little bit worse at shooting because he'd be in the weight room more. It's just different. It's just different. Same with KD. KD is, you know, he can't bench 2 plates, right? Shit, I don't know how many times he can bench 1 plate. But, you know, you put him in that era, and is somebody beating him up in the paint? Maybe. I don't know. Because he still has the length to block shots that a lot of, you know what I mean? That's underrated too. So we got to see. We have to see that. I don't know. It's tough to say. Doesn't move the needle in either direction. But I do think it's flawed for Shannon to be like, this is the most talented, skilled era, because at the end of the day, you know, they don't have to be in the weight room nearly as much. So of course they're going to appear more skilled on the court. And then in addition to that, they're not able to be touched. So they just shine way brighter today than they would previously, especially offensively. That being said, there are guys who are physical and physically capable that would have been capable of playing in that era. Zion Williamson, Cade Cunningham. I'm talking about young guys who would have been able to play then with their physicality. I mean, Zion can't stay healthy, obviously. But yeah, man. I mean, it's tough to say.
Know this better than me because you were an all-world player. Even though the game of the NFL has evolved significantly, you know good and damn well that if you were playing in this time, you would have adapted.
Yes.
You played in that time, you adapted.
Yeah.
The game in the 60s and 70s, you would have adapted to those times. So what I'm trying to say to you is this. Michael Jordan was what he needed to be. If he was playing today, he would be what he needed to be in order to be successful today. That's all I'm trying to say. When you see greatness on that level, you have to concede that that's the case.
But see all that.
Fair enough. And that's what I'm saying about today's players going back in that day and age too. But I think with LeBron, if you take him and don't change a goddamn thing about him and put him in the 90s, he dominates in the 90s. And I think if you put him today, he dominates. So it's like, you know, if you take 2008, 2010, let's take 2011 LeBron. I think that was like a really good year in Miami, right? Maybe it was 2012. Whatever it was. Let's take that version of LeBron and put him in today. He's still the best player, bro. He's still going to be the best player. It doesn't matter physicality or not. That just means he's going to dog people even more offensively. He'd probably be a better offensive player and a little bit worse defensively. But he can still guard now. So what? I mean, you know. So yeah, I mean, obviously he's old now, but I think peak LeBron can play. That's the thing about LeBron. When you talk about MJ, yeah, you put him in this era and it changes things a little bit. Is that mid-range jumper as effective? You know, you got to start shooting the 3 more. And he's not, you know, he's a 6'6" guard that's very athletic. But how many of those guys are there? Let's be real. How many of those guys are there? There are a dime a dozen, bro. There are, shit. I've coached kids who were 6'6" and athletic guards and can shoot pretty well and have a good, very, very solid footwork bag, played Division I basketball. There are a million of those fellas. Again, MJ took that to another level, right? Like, a free throw line dunk, and obviously hitting a clutch national championship winning shot in college. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is a winner through and through. So, yes, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. He's one of a kind. He's not like these other guys that exist now. But I'm just saying, we've seen a lot of that. We have not seen a 6'8" LeBron James type player ever in history or now. I mean, if you're thinking about guys like LeBron, the next best thing would be like Rudy Gay, dog. Like an athletic wing forward. And those guys are not nearly as versatile, smart. They just are not LeBron, right? Who else are we talking about? Like, I was going to say Kawhi, but Kawhi skews defensively a little bit too much for me to put him. I mean, yeah, Kawhi. Kawhi is a similar mold to LeBron, right? But he's not LeBron. He's not LeBron James, right? He's a fucking great player. He's great Kawhi Leonard. But he's not LeBron. I mean, who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? 6'6" shooting guards that can defend. And I mean, yeah, there are not many Michael Jordans either, but I just think that it's a whole different conversation.
Michael do with the cook. LeBron had to cook, he had to clean, he had to wait tables, he had to take orders.
Well, you can say that, but what I'm saying
ain't no that saying that.
If the brother's doing it on both sides of the floor, then obviously he's doing more than one thing.
He's doing that too. But
why is he doing more than one thing?
How many guys you know that are top 5 scorers and top 5 assists?
How about this? How about when Shaquille O'Neal with Penny Hardaway, Nick Anderson, 3D, Dennis Scott, and those boys on Orlando, right?
Yeah.
How about the fact that they couldn't even get the ball past half court because Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan had them on lock?
Yeah,
full court press. We never see LeBron do that. We never see LeBron do that.
That would never happen in today's game, but yeah, that is impressive. I love that though. I love that story. I've actually never seen that, but if that's a thing, I gotta watch the tape. That is phenomenal. You don't see that in modern basketball, where somebody team locks up 94 feet and actually pressures you straight up, full court pressure. It's impossible. Now you can't touch them. It's a whistle every time. Any physicality in the front court, they're gonna blow the whistle, and they're just too good. They're just too good these days, man. They're gonna get by you. They're gonna get by you. They're gonna make a pass, and that rotation comes to the half court line, and you're gonna get dunked on the back end. You just cannot press. You can't feasibly. I mean, of course you can press, but it's a desperation move now. It's not a strategy. It's not a real feasible strategy in today's game. It's a desperation move. You're about to lose. You got to do something. You got to increase the number of possessions in the game. You press. But these guards, man, Kyrie Irving, holy fuck, man. Imagine that. It's trying to stay in front of that thing. It's like a fucking leopard. Steph Curry, De'Aaron Fox. Nah.
I do that.
You know, stop it. He never did it.
You remember when
He never did it.
You remember when
LaMelo. Like, you can't stay in front of these guys.
D Rose was the MVP?
94 feet? Hell no.
Y'all voted D Rose MVP. What he do to D Rose in the playoffs?
Excuse me. D Rose, what kind of team did he have? You couldn't tell me Joakim Noah and those boys was a disappointment.
They did a...
Yo, come on. They had a good team, bro. Dang, Joakim Noah, Jimmy Butler. I mean, obviously Jimmy Butler before he was Jimmy Butler, but Luol Deng was a good player on that team. They had a good team. I think they had Korver at times. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he didn't have no Scottie Pippen, right? Derrick Rose, he didn't have LeBron. Derrick Rose playing with LeBron would have been a fun thing to watch. Anyway.
Enough to get the #1 seed.
So what? So what?
You voted him.
I voted him MVP and still picked Miami to win that series. I knew they weren't going to beat Miami in the best of 7.
Yeah.
Playoffs are different.
Yeah.
All right? But that don't mean LeBron deserved the MVP. And oh, by the way, I don't even knock LeBron James for not getting the MVP because when you're that great, you're not going to put all your efforts in over 82 games. You're playing for April, May, and June. So this is entirely plausible. I'm very fair to LeBron James. Your dollar
Sometimes.
Most times. Actually, I'd say all. It's just that I call it like I see it. I'm not emotional like you.
No, I saw you. I've been doing my homework on you. Yeah, you know what? I got a call today from one Michael Jordan. He rolled up on me in a black SUV and rolled the window down.
That's true.
Yeah.
I thought it was a drive-by. I thought it was a damn drive-by. It scared the living hell out of me. You understand what I'm saying? That's an absolutely true story. But at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say is that LeBron is phenomenal. He's great. We should throw no shade on him. one of the greatest ever, top 3.
I never see you saying one of them.
First of all, he will never be greater than Jordan to me. But more importantly, let's go to Kareem. 19-time All-Star, 6-time league MVP, champion on a high school level, Kyle Memorial, champion in UCLA, champion in the NBA. Okay, good Lord have mercy. All-time leading scorer before LeBron surpassed him. All of that stuff happened. I'm just saying, come on now. The resume is better, but I still don't believe he was the player that LeBron James is.
Yeah.
All right? But what I hold, and I'll say this to you, I'll tell you something that I very really said. If you took LeBron James' career from 2012 to now, and that was his history, from his first title to what he is now, and you wanted to make an argument against Jordan, I'm listening. The problem is we don't get to ignore the...
What? What kind of sense does that make? You're going to take away a big portion of his career where he showed what he could do, and you're going to say that you have an argument. But because so you're talking about, that's the thing, that just proves to me that he is talking about who had a better career. With less blips, more perfection, who had a better career, MJ or LeBron? And the answer is MJ to him. And I haven't thought about that. Maybe it is MJ. Maybe MJ did have a better career. I can't concede that. I wouldn't be willing to argue against him on that though. But you're not talking about who's better at basketball. You're talking about some other shit. Because why are you saying that if you remove part of a guy's career, then you might have an argument? That doesn't make any sense. So you haven't been talking about him being the better basketball player this whole time. This whole time you've been talking about whose career is better, whose resume is better. Oh, Michael Jordan never got fired from Pizza Hut. LeBron got fired from Pizza Hut, but LeBron went on to become the CEO of McDonald's, and MJ ended up becoming the CEO of Pizza Hut. So LeBron's still the CEO of McDonald's. So Pizza Hut was bugging, right? For firing him. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, he did what he did, right? And he was still that person. He was still the guy that became the CEO. He was still built like that, to be the CEO of something, to put in the work, to grind his way up. He was smart, made the right decisions, all that. So that makes no sense. That's weird.
Those first 7 or 8 years, where there were a couple of occasions where one, he was accused of quitting, and I don't believe that, by the way. I don't believe that.
They accused Noah of drunkenness.
No. I'm talking about this.
God still gave him the arm.
I got you, but I feel you. But it's true. But it's still accused of drunkenness. But the point is, no. Against Boston, I don't believe that. It was a lot of stuff going on with LeBron that's none of our business. That they were totally unfair to him, including his damn teammates. But that's a different story for another day. I never held that against him. But when you got 4 games against the Dallas Mavericks in which people looked at you and said, choke.
If you said that, you know what?
You cannot get past that.
I can't argue out that one. I can't argue out that one.
That to me sealed the deal about the MJ.
See, but even if he did choke in that series, and even if he is not a closer, which I concede, right? I don't think LeBron is a closer. I've never thought LeBron was a closer. I don't think LeBron is a clutch player. LeBron has done a lot of clutch shit, by the way. He has showed up in the clutch. He's shown up in the clutch before, in big ways, in the playoffs. But I don't think that he's built for these like high pressure cooker moments. I don't think that. I've seen the film. I see the body language. I see he gets nervous, man. He does choke up a little bit. He gets a little bit like, tense, and he's not built for those moments. That doesn't make him a significantly less great basketball player. Every player has flaws, man. Every player has flaws. MJ could not defend in the post the way LeBron could. And guess what? That's fucking 45 minutes of the game. Shit, 48. You know what I'm saying? So just gonna forget about that. That's 48 minutes. You're talking about the last 2 minutes, last 3 minutes. I mean, it's a big deal, bro. It's a big deal to have a quality of yours as a player not stack up with another guy when you're talking about comparisons. But when you're talking about personality traits like clutch factor, those are overlookable to me as a coach. I can get another guy. I can get a Kyrie or somebody who will go up in the clutch and go do their thing. You know what I'm saying? But I cannot replace LeBron James for 48. If we want to take out those last 2 minutes and say he chokes up, then 46 minutes of a game. You can't. And you can't tell me that because he's not clutch, he's not the GOAT just because of that. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hey,
I've coached many teams, many different games, many different situations, and I have had guys who were by far my most trusted guy on the court, by far the best player. If I had to pick one player to keep on that team, that would be them. But I've had, and then at the end of the game, I've had guys who I fucking could not stand their habits, and I'm like, listen, I'm giving it to fucking Justin. Listen, Justin, I cannot stand your shot selection. I can't stand your, Justin's a made up name. Actually, I have coached a guy named Justin who was a dog, but I'm not talking about him. I'm just making up a name, right? Justin, fucking can't stand you, man. Obviously we work, I don't mean that literally, right? Like, that's my guy. At the end of the day, we take the bus home. We're boys. I'm not mad at you. Maybe I'm talking to you about what you should do better, but I'm not like, I don't hate you just because what you do on the basketball court. Like, come on. I don't care about that. But like, I'm like, in a hyperbolic way, can't stand you. You do dumb shit. You fucking sell out. We're playing a 2-3. You leave your position to get a steal. Sometimes you get it and you score on a fast break. Sometimes you get cooked. You get scored on. You shoot threes as soon as you dribble past half court. Right? 0 passes, no penetration, no attempt to attack anything. You just settle immediately because you felt like it. Hate that shit. But guess what? I'm giving you the ball because there's 2 minutes left and I need a motherfucker to go score right now. And it's going to be Justin. It's not going to be Johnny over here, who is my best player. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that does not mean I'm taking Justin over Johnny. If I have to pick a team again and I have to pick one person, one of them is going to leave. They're beefing. Let's say Justin and Johnny are beefing. Johnny's my guy I rely on all game. Justin's the guy who I rely on at the end. One of them's going to leave the team. Sayonara, Justin. Bye-bye, kid. Safe travels. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about LeBron. You're still going to take LeBron every time, bro. Because I would rather dominate motherfuckers than to wait and be like, okay, I got to have a clutch player on the team because da-da-da-da. Nah, fuck that. I want LeBron. I want to win by 15 every fucking night.
What if he were to win a title this year?
Don't matter.
At 39 years of age.
So that don't erase Jordan.
See, there you go. See, that's the argument that people have when I was talking about Tom Brady not playing well. I'm not trying to take away what Jordan's accomplished.
I agree.
He got those rings.
Right.
He got 6 Finals
Right.
MVPs.
Right.
He has 6 championships. He has 5 regular season MVPs.
Correct.
If LeBron gets another title, Stephen A., I'm not going to erase what Jordan did, but he already here for me.
Okay.
All he's doing is just.
But what I'm saying to you is, I already talked about the Dallas thing.
Yeah.
And I talked about moments which you can appreciate. What I'm trying to say to you is that when you are that dude,
Right.
that doesn't happen to you often. That happened to Magic when they called him tragic because
I'm 84.
Johnson 84 and all that. You get all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But for the most part, that doesn't happen. And this is the kind of thing that you also have to pay attention to as well.
But you gotta, like, in that era though, at that time, everybody hated LeBron because of the decision, so they were waiting for him, bro. They were waiting for him. I hated him at that time. At that time, that was before I became a LeBron is the GOAT guy. I pivoted hard because I received new information in the form of him beating the Warriors in the championship. I just realized how dominant he had to be to do that. To beat that team in that championship. So that's when I pivoted. But at that time, I was one of them. I was one of the guys like, fucking LeBron, dude. They say he's the GOAT. What a fucking pussy. He sucks. You know what I mean? He can't win shit. He's fucking ass. The decision, bro. Nice, great decision, dog. That's what I was like in 2012. Because I didn't like him. Not because he was a worse basketball player. And did he choke? I mean, he didn't show up like he should have. But, I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough to be hated that bad. And I've been hated pretty fucking bad, I'll tell you that. And it's tough, dude. You take some getting used to. You don't just show up, pop out on the scene as a 20, whatever the fuck he was, and be, You know what I'm saying? Don't work like that.
Not only do you not get to say that about Jordan, but when you look at LeBron, think about this. You want me to tell you what I hold against him just as much as I held against the Dallas performance?
What?
The following year with the All-Star game. You got the ball in your hands. It's an exhibition.
Oh, he passed
It's an exhibition. It doesn't count.
Right.
It's all in fun.
Right.
Kobe claps his hand, God rest his soul.
So
and he's like, yo, let's come on with it. You got D-Wade on the court. You got Melo in the corner.
Yeah.
And he threw the pass. And all 3 of them, along with Kobe, descended on LeBron and said, yo, what's up? What you doing? Because they knew he was psyched out. He was messed up. And what I'm saying to you is that Kobe wasn't like that. And
Yeah, but you're talking about personality traits, bro. And yes, I get it. I do get it. You would prefer that LeBron was a killer and he walked on the court like, bitch, this is my court, which he still does to an extent. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm killing everybody, period. But that's not him. That's just not him. That's just not LeBron James, right? Like it's not, man. It's not. He's not. It's not his personality. He's more of like a let the game come to me. I'm gonna play this shit the right way. I do everything right. I put the work in and let the game happen. And you know what I mean? Like that's how he feels and that's how he plays. At least that's the way I perceive it, right? There are some guys who are like, nah, fuck that. This is my shit right here. Like, give me the ball. You know what I mean? I'm gonna kill this fool. Like, okay, and that's great. That's fantastic. But that comes with its own pitfalls. I've seen, you know how many, you talk about Kobe, you know how many memes and shit I've seen of Kobe? You want to talk about Tragic Johnson and LeBron choked and all these memes and shit, right? Kobe didn't have the fucking X button, did he? How many times have I seen that shit? Right? Kobe don't pass. What about all that? Like, I mean, we're talking about, you know what I mean? It's a personality trait. It's not, yeah, you might have a preference for one, but at the end of the day, I'm not dinging him that bad for that. At the end of the day, yes, that is a quality that he lacks in, but it's not like y'all want to make it seem like it's the end all be all. Oh, he's not clutch. He's not a closer. He's not a killer. He doesn't have that mentality. He's not that dog. Okay, sure. I might maybe not. In a way, he might not be a dog in the way you're saying it, but he is a professional executor of the game of basketball. What about that? You don't want to give credence to that. You want to hang up on this one little point and say that makes this other player better just solely on that. It's not the way it works.
Jay wasn't like that. D Wade wasn't like that. In his first NBA Finals appearance, they down 0-2.
Basically, you're trying to call him a pussy, right? That's what you're saying. That's the way I perceive it. Let's put LeBron and any of those guys you just mentioned in a fucking cage and see what happens. Let's put them in the ring. MMA, octagon. Let's see what happens. Are you trying to make it sound like he's a pussy, dog?
Dallas, D Wade goes berserk, averages 37 in the last 4 games. I'm just saying it's stuff like that. It's not that you look at LeBron and you diminish him. It's just that you can't elevate him above somebody like MJ when I got that evidence to support my argument. That's all. And that's why I got him number 2 all time. God strike me down. I mean, my Lord. I mean, what an insult.